TYT Sports, Rick Strom here with Robert Exel, editor-in-chief of Boxing.com. Robert, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Rick?
I'm doing good. Floyd Mayweather, Victor Ortiz, you could call it a cheap shot, you could call it a legal sucker punch. Either way, it appeared that Ortiz blatantly headbutted Floyd Mayweather and then even kissed him on the cheek to say sorry. They went in to give their, hey, my bad, man, my bad, 3 times. Ortiz takes half a step back. Mayweather clocks him with a left hook and then a right hand right to the face. Ortiz goes down. End of the fight. Robert, where do we start? What do you make of all this?
I think it's all a really unfortunate business. As you pointed out, the punch was a legal punch, but it was a cheap shot. Ortiz was not paying attention. He wasn't protecting himself at all times. The referee was off somewhere else in some sort of Alzheimer's haze. He wasn't paying attention either. And Mayweather clocked him. And I guess that's fair. I mean, according to the rules, it is indeed fair, but it's certainly not sportsmanlike, and doesn't really bring any honor to the sport of boxing.
But overall, it was a legal punch. I mean, it was totally legal, wouldn't you say?
It was a legal punch. It was indeed. That's part of the problem. A legal punch is a legal punch. An analogy would be when Larry Holmes fought Ali in 1980, when Holmes was defending his title. And Ali was a shot fighter. He was a sick man already, but he wasn't willing to accept that, and he fought Holmes. And Holmes was, beating the living daylights out of Ali. And he sort of holding back on his punches. I mean, his fist was cocked. He was ready to fire away, but he wouldn't keep punching. He backed off. He's looking to the ref. I mean, there is such a thing as sportsmanship. There is such a thing as heart compassion and sort of understanding that it's a sport. This is not a life and death struggle. Everybody's going to get paid, but it's a sport. And because it's a sport, I mean, that's where the word sportsmanship comes from. It has meaning, and to treat it as though it doesn't have meaning is to really sort of give a middle finger to the sport.
Do you remember who we're talking about, though? Do you remember the star of the fight who got paid over $20 million? Sportsmanship is not in that man's dictionary.
I understand. And a lot of people really don't care for Mayweather, in part because of that reason. I mean, it was Ortiz's fault that he got clocked. His hand should have been up, especially after the first shot. He just sort of stood there. I mean,
well, he was knocked out cold after the first shot. I mean, he was just out cold on his feet.
Well, I wonder if he was out cold before the fight even started, sort of, just blinded by all the glitz and glamour of being, up there at the MGM Grand, a marquee attraction. I mean, the hard luck kid from Garden City, Kansas. I mean, one has to really wonder what he was thinking, what was going on. We know what Mayweather was thinking. I mean, it was like, I'm going to get this guy out of here by hook or by crook, and that's what he did.
Now, what exactly was Joe Cortez thinking? I was hearing I think they were Australian, the 2 announcers. The first thing they brought up was, did Cortez say box? And both of them said, no, he didn't. So does this fall on Joe Cortez, or do you say let him off the hook?
No, why should we let him off the hook? I mean, why, for the same reason we didn't let Russell Moore off the hook during the Agbeco Mares fiasco. Why should we let him off the hook? The referee has a job to do, and it's really to officiate the fight. I mean, to keep it clean, to keep it honest. He says he's firm and he's fair, but, I mean, he's infirm and unfair. I mean, he really wasn't doing his job. Time for him to be put to pasture. It wasn't clear. It wasn't clear what he was doing, why he was not looking at the fighters, but looking off in the corner at the timekeeper. I mean, it's not clear what Cortez was doing, and a lot of this really falls on his shoulders.
Do you see him getting another big title fight like this again?
It's very likely.
It is?
I'm afraid so. I mean, boxing is not good at sort of policing itself. It's like the police policing itself. I mean, it's just not what it does best. So, yes, it's certainly possible. People will forget about this fight. There's a theory floating around that Mayweather is now more popular than ever because he's being spoken about so much. I mean, pro and or con, he is now in the news in a large way. So I assume that Mayweather will be back, as will Joe Cortez.
As we said earlier, Floyd Mayweather got over $20 million for this fight. Over $20 million. Does he need Manny Pacquiao, or should he just keep fighting guys that, I'm not going to call them amateur at all, but at his level, compared to his competitors' level, does he even need to fight Manny Pacquiao? He could just make $20 million plus on every fight.
And that's what he's going to do. He's never going to fight Manny Pacquiao. I mean, there's no reason for him to fight Manny Pacquiao. Mayweather doesn't really want to be in a fight. He doesn't want to get hit, and I don't blame him who wants to get hit, but he really doesn't want to be in a real fight. He's been in a couple of real fights during his career, and he didn't like it, and he doesn't want to be in a real fight again. He's never going to fight Manny Pacquiao.
No chance.
Not in my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell the future, but I can't imagine that he's going to risk blemishing his perfect record and blemishing his reputation and actually getting in a real fight with somebody who is at least as good a fighter as he is, and perhaps even better.
I've been reading the forums, I've been reading the blogs, I've been reading pretty much anything you can on this subject, and we can have this debate with another guest at another time. But MMA requires guys to fight each other. They require the best of the best to fight each other, and then they duke it out, and you have your champion. Should boxing institute that?
The problem is boxing is too fragmented. There are so many sanctioning bodies, so that one champion of one sanctioning body each sanctioning body has their own champion. It's too fragmented for that. The thing about MMA or UFC is that it's an autocracy. It's ruled by one person and one person alone. There are advantages in an autocracy, but there are disadvantages as well. The main disadvantage being that it's an autocracy. It's ruled by a single person. So that sport, that organization can dictate what the fighters do. But boxing is too fragmented for that. It could never happen.
Will Victor Ortiz get a rematch with Floyd Mayweather, or do you think he was basically just speaking out of his ass and just saying, yeah, if he wants a rematch, he can get a rematch?
Well, who would really want to see a rematch? First of all, who wants to wait 16 months for the next Floyd Mayweather fight? And then who wants to see him fight somebody who really wasn't qualified to be with him in the ring in the first place? I know I surely don't. So
Victor Ortiz, let's start with him. Where does he go from here?
Well, he has to he's going to count his money. He made a nice payday. He needs to take a look at his life and his situation. His team is going to have to take a look at his life and his situation. Box is what he does. He's going to continue to fight. I'm certain he'll get another title shot eventually. Hopefully he'll get a tune-up fight, and hopefully the next time he fights it'll be somebody like Andre Berto, who is there and in front of him and willing to trade, and not a superstar, not a premier elite athlete like Floyd Mayweather.
Same for Floyd Mayweather. Same question. Where does he go from here?
He goes the easy way, in my opinion. He'll fight Tim Bradley. He'll fight whoever it is he believes he can beat. He's not going to take on the best because that's not who Floyd Mayweather is. We saw who Floyd Mayweather is. We saw who he is Saturday night. He's not going to take on the best. He doesn't want the best challenge. He wants to take the money and run.
Last question for you. Was it wrong of Larry Merchant to respond back that way, or are you 100% on his side with that?
I don't have a problem with that. I mean, he's a journalist. He's been in this business for years. He was a writer for the Philadelphia Daily News for years. He's been in the ring with a million fighters over the past 30 years over at HBO. I don't think he was out of line. He was trying to, find out whether Mayweather thought that the way the fight ended was legitimate. And his next question was going to be, are you going to fight Pacquiao? And Mayweather didn't want to hear it. And he acted as though he didn't want to hear it.
Robert Exel, editor-in-chief of Boxing.com, thank you very much for the time. We appreciate it.
We'll talk soon.